It's roughly 6 a.m. in Israel. A series of fighter jets launches armed with long-range, precision-guided missiles. According to CIA and Israeli intelligence, a large segment of Iran's leadership has gathered inside a compound in Tehran. Among them, Ayatollah Ali, the country's supreme leader. 2 hours and 5 minutes after the jets took off, Israeli missiles hit the compound. This is how the Israeli and U.S. strikes on Iran played out, how the country's leader was killed, and what has transpired since. By the time this video is released, new details might have surfaced. The U.S., Israel, and Iran have a long history of hostilities. Until 1979, Iran was an authoritarian monarchy ruled by Shah Mohammad Reza. He was backed by the U.S. when his regime was overthrown during the Iranian Revolution. Ayatollah Khamenei took control of the country and established the Islamic Republic. He was determined to reshape Iran into a nation governed by Islamic law. Khamenei abandoned the former Shah's pro-Western stance. The U.S. and its close ally Israel were declared formal enemies. Particularly, opposition to Israel became a central strategic and ideological objective. Ruhollah Khomeini died in 1989 and was succeeded by Ali Khamenei, a cleric who rapidly climbed the ranks and had become a principal figure in the religious leadership of the country. Over time, Iran, Israel, and the U.S. frequently engaged in conflicts. Sanctions were imposed on Iran. Iran became a primary funder of anti-Israeli militias in the region. In 2002, it was revealed that Iran was enriching uranium at 2 covert facilities. The enriched uranium could be used for nuclear reactors or weapons, a concern the U.S. and its allies had long held. Iran has consistently denied its alleged pursuit of nuclear arms. The U.S. and Israel attempted numerous measures to halt the nuclear program through cyber attacks, the assassination of key scientists, and particularly for the U.S. through diplomacy. In 2015, the Obama administration and the Iranian regime reached a nuclear agreement. This is a significant day because, once again, we see what can be achieved with robust American diplomacy. Under the nuclear deal that we, our allies and partners, reached with Iran last year, Iran will not acquire a nuclear bomb. However, in 2018, President Trump withdrew from the deal. The truth is, this was a flawed, one-sided deal that should never have been finalized. Since then, relations have grown tense. In 2025, amid renewed negotiations, Israel and the U.S. conducted a series of airstrikes on Iran using bunker-buster bombs. 3 Iranian nuclear sites suffered heavy damage. In the same year, Iran fell further into an economic crisis. The currency collapsed. Food prices spiked. Public frustration grew. By the end of 2025, mass demonstrations erupted nationwide. Peaceful protesters and rioters demanded the end of the Islamic Republic. Trump called for an uprising among the Iranian people against their government, stating, "Help is on its way." But the regime crushed the protests with brutality. It cut off the internet nationwide. For days, little to no information emerged. In the end, thousands were killed. 50,000 reportedly were detained. The U.S. began to reinforce its troops in the region, with Trump repeatedly issuing threats toward Iran. On Thursday, February 26th, there was a final diplomatic attempt between the two countries in Geneva, to no avail. Saturday, February 28th, around 9:40 a.m. in Tehran, Iran's capital, this government compound is near Her Square. It reportedly houses offices of the Iranian presidency, Iran's National Security Council, and the supreme leader. Since 2025, the U.S. has apparently gained intelligence on how Ayatollah Khamenei and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps coordinate and move under pressure. The CIA reportedly tracked Khamenei for months. They mapped his whereabouts and studied his patterns. They're confident he is present today, and they learned of a meeting of top Iranian officials on site. The U.S. and Israel originally planned a night strike, but they adjusted the time. The opportunity was too valuable to ignore. Suddenly, Israeli missiles impact the buildings. During the strike, several national security officials were inside one building, Supreme Leader Ham reportedly in another. Afterwards, satellite imagery shows extensive damage to the buildings. Black smoke rises. Geolocated footage confirms massive plumes in the compound area. A photo was taken as well. Ali Husseini Ham perished in the attack. Also killed, Swedit Abdulray Mousavi, Chief of Staff of Iran's armed forces. Ali Shamkhani, head of the National Defense Council, Mohammad Pakpour, commander-in-chief of the IRGC, Aziz Nazarzad, defense minister. According to Israeli sources, 30 senior Iranian officials were killed in just 30 seconds during the opening strike. The operation was codenamed Roaring Lion in Israel and Epic Fury in the U.S. It had been planned for months. Masoud Pezeshkian, president of Iran, survived. Ali Larijani, secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, pledged Iran would retaliate and maintain governance. The strike on the government compound was only one phase of the operation. Afterwards, Israel reportedly neutralized Iran's air defenses, particularly around Tehran. In a third wave, Israel deployed about 200 fighter jets, bringing a large portion of its air force into Iran. The goal was to destroy as many Iranian missiles as quickly as possible. The U.S. reportedly joined about 30 minutes after the attack on Iran's leadership. According to the New York Times, their strikes targeted primarily eastern Iran, distant from Israel, and also hit naval targets. U.S. warships reportedly launched Tomahawk cruise missiles at Iranian positions. American ground forces employed artillery rocket systems.